that the question is, why is the study of astronomy valuable? The statement there is, oh, the stars taught man how to count. The stars taught man how to count. Okay? It's put just like that. Not man looked at the stars and then they did this and that. The stars taught man how to count. That's the way it's stated. Okay? Now, counting in that dialogue is logismos, reckoning, or arithmein, counting. Arithmos is a Greek word for number. But counting is always associated by the Greeks as very similar as a process. Counting as a process is frequently likened to logos as language. For reasons that I've mentioned in other lectures, when you count something, that you introduce limitations and so forth, okay? Just like the noun is understood to be the completion in some way of the verb. I won't go into that at the moment. But we could infer from this, not that the Greeks said this directly, but this is my motive, okay? We're studying astrology here to find because astrological phenomena can teach human beings the proper use of natural languages, human languages. That's my real motive. In other words, okay, different languages express things differently. Okay, Western languages, for the most part, are called Indo-European languages, although there's some exceptions in little corners of Europe and so forth. They have a sort of grammar in common. But even in the different languages within this general family, you find wide variations in the way in which the things are expressed. I don't mean the words that are used, the way in which grammar is used to correlate words. Okay, widely different. And interestingly enough, if you will find, for example, in the Sanskrit grammarians, a totally different understanding of their own language than you find in the Greek grammarians who are reflecting on their own language. Totally different. Even though the languages apparently come from a common ancestor. So they're used radically differently. And this doesn't say anything about American Indian languages, Semitic languages, Chinese, and so forth, okay? The question is, you got all these different languages, they all have their own grammars, okay? What is the standard? What is language? What is logos? What is the standard? Where are you going to find that standard? Oh, well, there's a theory around, going back to a guy called Noam Chomsky saying that, well, there's a deep structure to the language, to language learning. So that, there's this deep sort of pattern structure, way, way down deep in the human beings. And this is how they naturally form languages, and it has something to do with the way the brain evolves. And that's later additions to this theory and so forth, all right? Well, that's an explanation, and that's interesting, all right? But in this context, I think it is much more secure to look for the grammatical standard in the astrological phenomena themselves. Okay? In other words, then you can see how different languages diverge from this standard according to their own idiosyncrasies and their own, cultural things and whatever, and the way in which the philosophers using that language have reflected on their own language and thereby modified it. Okay? But we still would have a standard. That's the point of this lecture. Okay? Astrology as a language, celestial phenomena, in my opinion, can teach human beings the proper use and understanding of their own languages.